So I just want to talk a little bit about coping with being an empath, an indigo, starseed. All these terms kind of blend together. The light worker element, the new global consciousness kind of movement that's happening in this world. I've heard people quote stats like it's 1%, it's 10%. I'm assuming it's probably closer to 10 of the world's population that's entering into this new enlightened consciousness. Mine personally happened over the past probably 5 to 10 previous years. It's become strongest in my understandings of what's going on in the last 3 years. Usually people are talking about major life changes, whether they be death, divorce, some huge tragedy that triggers them into the spiritual realm. Ideally, these people must or might come from some sort of fundamentalist religion or something that may have triggered some sort of unending wanting, this knowing of perhaps memories that they knew were in them at one time that had been erased when they came to Earth. We get into the concept of past lives and have you been here before? Or is this your first time on this planet? And we get into a concept that I've come to be aware of in the last couple years, which is called a walk-in, when someone has a near-death experience and that soul leaves the body and this new person comes in, presumably from another dimension or another world, to come in and aid the planetary shift that's happening right now. I myself have had a lot of close calls over the last 5 years, even last 10 years, where I should have died, and I keep being here for some reason. I was recently in Arizona, and there were literally like 4 times where we should have been in substantial major accidents, huge close calls. There's a reason why light workers are meant to be here, why we're still here, why we're still building consciousness in the planet. I myself, as an educator, I do what I can. I have to follow rules. I have to teach within a system, but I do what I can to use teachable moments to help kids see their kindness, see their compassion, see the light, see the highest frequency that they can be. I believe a lot of this comes down to frequency. The higher your frequency, the more you can maintain a higher frequency of unconditional love, light, those sort of concepts, the happier you're going to be, more in a state of wonder and acceptance of everything, and better able your body can cope with some of the toxic chemicals and elements that come into our bodies through preservatives and food and genetically modified organisms and bath products and body products. And as a light worker, we have to do what we can to eliminate some of this, perhaps switching up your toothpaste to a non-fluoridated brand if you can afford it, getting more purified water in your home, putting in possibly a filtration system, or going to purchase some sort of water unit that filters your water a bit better to get out some of the toxic stuff. But we're not perfect, and we have to eat out sometimes. If you're like myself, who's gone basically vegetarian with the exception of seafood and very seldomly have some chicken, you may actually feel physically ill when you even think about eating meat. And I believe that relates to frequency. And when your frequency rises, you just develop even more compassion and kindness than you've ever had in your life. And the idea of eating somebody's child or someone's mother, whether it be bovine or whether it be cattle, just really disgusts you, and you can't even imagine doing that. And I've come into students that are the same way, and 8th and 7th grade students that can't even imagine doing that, and teaching cooking classes where we have to cook meat, and these kids just cannot do it. They're looking at it like, forget it, and they don't know why. They don't know why they're different, and they don't know why they have this unbelievable compassion for creatures. But a lot of them have done their own research and found out how these animals are treated and how they're locked into the pens after their mother licks them off, be the cows, and basically they have no life. They're in a small pen for their whole life, and then they're sacrificed. So this is our society runs. Everything eats everything else. Is there something fundamentally wrong with this? I say yes. I say there's something wrong with all of this dog-eat-dog system, and there's something higher, huger going on for all of this, and us light workers are a big part of it. I've done extensive research from all sorts of different sources, whether they be quantum physics, whether they be people like Greg Braden or David Icke or Stephen Hawking, that are coming at this from scientific and spiritual and metaphysical points of view. And really what I've concluded through all of my study over the past 5 to 10 years is it comes down to consciousness. and being a conduit of consciousness and compassion and love and kindness, helping others, seeing a bigger picture, being as much as you can in the present moment are all the concepts that will allow you to transcend this reality, this dark, doomy earth that has so many issues and problems, and ascend into a higher dimension of being, a higher reality. A lot of times it's a very lonely journey. People like ourselves tend to lose a lot of friends and family. They really isolate a lot. They don't find a lot in common with their previous friends or society for that matter. Perhaps their former faith, they lose that. But really, acceptance and knowing that it's for a higher and greater purpose, that you're part of something so much larger, as some of your memories and understandings flow back in as to why you're actually here. That will bring closure, that will bring a sense of peace, it will bring a sense of gratitude that you're just a small piece of a big puzzle, but you're so fundamentally important to what's going on during this time in Earth's history. So I thought this rant would perhaps help some like-minded people like myself. We're all at different places of understanding. And one final thing I want to talk about is people that are part of this movement who are not in it for the right reasons. They're the false light worker, the false spiritual healer. You really want to listen to your body and listen to your gut on this. If you have a bad feeling, go with that feeling. Listen to that feeling. Don't pay people that are doing all these so-called treatments on you if you don't have a good feeling. You can look at these people and you can really look into their eyes. The eyes are, in fact, the windows to the soul. You can know if you feel something not good or menacing behind it. Listen to those feelings. Don't pay these people to treat you or do things to you. Your body's going to work out its stuff on its own. If you're meant to be here, you're going to be here. And your body's going through a lot of changes from what sites I've read with so-called ascension symptoms. So you gotta learn to live with some of this stuff. Do the best you can. Meditate if you feel like it. If you don't feel like it, go for a walk. If you feel like being in water, do that. Although chlorine sensitivity is a huge issue, I know, for a lot of people. So these more organic pools that are purified more naturally with, say, salt water or plant-based environments, if you can get to it, then that's way more wonderful. Or of the ocean. I wish I'm here in Alberta. All these are powerful tools. So hopefully that helps. That's my rant for today on Ascension and the Lightworker and the false Lightworker movement. Thanks.